Well, here we are. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to have you all with me here. And I've been working on this for quite some time. This whole movement of AI and where AI is going. I'm just so excited what is has been happening. And today I want to share some of the highlights with you. And hopefully, it will all make sense at the end of the presentation and where you could take possibly the next few steps. I have to admit that when I shared with quite a few of my close friends, that I could not survive today without the power of AI by my side. I treat it as my thinking partner. And about 4.5 months ago, after investigating, and I shared this with quite some a few people, after investigating intermittent fasting for quite some time, I decided to take on the whole concept of intermittent fasting. And I've used AI and especially at that time, ChatGPT, to really help me think through that and what I need to consider doing. And with that in mind, on October 12th, 2025 was the day that I decided that's it. I'm doing it. And every single day, I fed the journal into ChatGPT. And basically, what I share with it, here's what I'm thinking of potentially consuming. Here's where I'm thinking about my fasting window to be. And it came back with complete amazing detail of what I should do. And I started somewhat slowly, just fasted about 12 hours a day for the first few days. And then I bumped it up to 14 hours of fast after about 2 or 3 weeks. The average fast for me right now is about 18 hours, 18 to 21 hours. That has been my habit for almost 4.5 months. And what I would like to share with you that while doing it, I weighed myself this morning and 56 pounds down since I started. So thank you. I see some of the clapping here. Um, but the reason I'm saying that is not just to brag, which of course there is a reason here to be able to brag about it, but I honestly could not have done it without the power of ChatGPT by my side every single day as I was working through some of the challenges. So today I'm not going to necessarily share with you the whole thing about my fasting, but I want to open up by sharing with you a case study here that is absolutely has worked for me, not just on a personal level, but also completely restructuring everything I have to do with my business level. So, with that in mind, let's jump into the introduction. The difference I see between using AI and partnering with AI is that most professionals are using AI like a search engine. Very few are actually using AI as a thinking partner. And what different uh, is creating the real leverage here. So number one, level one, I see it as an occasional tool. You use AI, or whether it's Claude or whether it's ChatGPT, sometimes, not too often. Level two is what I refer to as productivity assistance. And then level three, which I believe we all should consider moving into, is what I call strategic thinking partner. And most professionals, the way I see, are somewhat between level one and level two. And I believe that truly the leverage opportunity is in level three. And here's an example using AI versus summarizing AI. Or you just go and feed into ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, summarize this article for me. Partnering with AI, analyze this article and identify the most important insights business leaders that should understand from this article, and then challenge the author assumptions. Now AI becomes an analytical partner. So the first thing, and I'm going to show with kind of show and tell and really show you some powerful example today. The first thing I would like to entice you or convince you that is critical about doing is how you personalize ChatGPT. And most likely some of you have already done it, and that's great. But if you've not done it yet, I highly suggest for you that you customize ChatGPT by improving it dramatically, that he knows the contents, who you are, what you do, who you serve, and your tone and expertise. And I'm going to show you right now the example of what I use in my own profile. So I'm going to jump right now and share my screen with you. And here we are. If I go to right here on the bottom left to my profile and I go on to personalization, what I encourage you to do is go first of all to the custom instructions. And by the way, I'm glad to send you the notes that exactly what I type into my own custom instruction, what I type into occupation. So for example, in the custom instruction, what I told ChatGPT to do, write with clarity, confidence, and intelligence. Match my tone, direct, pragmatic, no fluff, no handholding. Be sharp, insightful, and useful, like you're actually solving problems, not talking in circle. And then um, I actually told you do not use those M dashes or hyphens for stylistic purposes. This is a strict rule that I want him to follow. Use only commas, semicolons, periods, uh, because I feel that oftentimes when you see those dashes, it's immediately revealed that ChatGPT has created that. So I encourage you to put that into your custom instruction. The example of my occupation here, I wrote here, um, I advise senior consultant and corporate advisor on scaling their influence, authority, and revenue through precision web strategy, standout digital content, and AR-powered execution. And again, as I said, I'll be delighted to send you exactly what my instructions are in that section so you can then go and customize it yourself. And then what about more about you? Chet is the president of the Chet Bar Group, um, a digital strategy and AI advisory firm specializing in web transformation, content leadership, and result driven marketing. And then towards the end, you know how oftentimes ChatGPT often agrees with you. It says, oh, this is a great idea. Well, I want to make sure that it challenges me and somewhat forces me to be more provocative and gives me the kind of feedback that becomes more provocative. So what I said to ChatGPT as an example here, let's see. I value clarity, strategy, and practicality. I want responses to demonstrate expertise, real world application, depth of thinking without um, filter or generic advice. Responses must treat me as equal, capable, experienced, and outcome focused. Avoids oversimplified instruction or surface level commentary. So, again, this is the section that I use in order to force ChatGPT to kind of be in my face. And if he disagrees with me, I want to make sure that he disagrees and, as I said, constantly challenges me. So that's just some example here of how I use that. So we cover personalization. I want to talk to you about the importance of what I call the strategic AI playbook. If you're not doing the thing I just described in the customization of your own profile, the next level is to take it in what I call the strategic AI playbook. I have one not only for my business, but also for me personally, where I fed into it, into a document, my medical information, my blood test results. And I want to make sure that when it gives me medical suggestion, it's not generic. It actually looking at me, Chad, it knows as much as possible with data about me before it makes any suggestion. So I want to share with you that AI, from my perspective, becomes an extension of your thinking. Your AI playbook contains background, expertise, services, target audience, tone, intellectual property, and framework. So let me show you, for example, what my AI playbook looks like. Here we go. So again, I'm not going to go through this entire document with you, but for example, um, this document, which happens to be a Word document, but it's also a PDF, all I have to do When I start a chat that is important for me to make sure that ChatGPT gives me as much as accurate information as possible, I simply upload this document that identifies my identity, my core mission, my core philosophy, my target audience, who they are. So in this example, consultant, coaches, corporate advisor, thought leader, professional service expert, and typical characteristics, their experience, professional, deep subject matter expertise, small teams or solo practices, high intellectual capability, typical age range 40 to 70, which I think covers the age range of this group tonight or this afternoon. And many are established experts who want to increase the reach and impact on the world. And then I identify what problems I believe this audience faces. So again, as I upload this document before I start any kind of progress communication with ChatGPT, it gives it all the information I think is critical for it to give me the answer that I need from it. And I highly, highly encourage you to do this. So anyway, so other sections here, the what the AI Insider Lab is all about that I want you to know, communication style that I want, clear, direct, intelligent, practical, avoid corporate jargon, buzzwords, oversimplified explanation, what my core beliefs about AI, strategic goal, content themes, what AI should assist Chat Barr, example prompts that I'm using. So again, this is just example of how I use ChatGPT in order to kind of raise the bar from my perspective on what it needs to do in order to give me as accurate information as possible and have the discussion not only be provocative, but be insightful to the highest possible level. So that's what I refer to as the strategic playbook that we are talking about right now. Let's talk about prompt engineering. And when I get into another topic in another slide, I'm going to talk about custom GPTs. What I actually created is a custom GPT, which I'll explain in a second what it is, that actually helps you, and I'll share that link with you, helps you create your own strategic playbook. So I'll take you through those steps in a few minutes. When I started to work with AI at the beginning, I felt that the answer was somewhat generic, maybe not as insightful as I expected them to be. And what I've come to realize that my prompts are not as powerful or effective as they should be. You know, I've learned years ago that if you ask the wrong question, the answer is somewhat irrelevant. The same thing applies to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever tools you're using. If you're not using the prompt as effective as possible, the answer that you're going to get from it are possibly somewhat generic. So, you know, here's an example. Help me design a prompt to generate a high quality client newsletter. So again, let's go into some examples here. We'll go to Google and let me go to ChatGPT and show you a live example of how I may use, let's see, let's think about something quickly. Help me create, help me create, oh, let's try this. Provide me with 5 powerful ideas of articles I should write for my clients and LinkedIn in the next several weeks. If it comes back, you run an advisory business built on authority, leverage, and clear thinking. So again, The AI divide, why some expert will 10x their influence while others fade into irrelevance. So again, this is quite powerful from my perspective. Your website is either building authority and so on. So again, ChatGPT has done a pretty decent job. And then it even gives me here the expert leverage equation, and it gives me what I could break it down into as the example here. But what I've decided to do is before I enter a prompt, I want to use the power of ChatGPT to help me refine the prompt before I execute it. So here are some of my prompts, and what I'm going to do right now, here's my own prompt optimizer. And basically, what this is going to do, so I created this GPT, which I'm going to talk about in a second and kind of show you how to create your own GPT. A GPT is something that I would use often, again and again, without having to retype everything from scratch. So in this particular example, what I said to ChatGPT, I want you to evaluate and upgrade prompts to be more precise, powerful, and effective, delivering high performance result and asking clarifying question before execution. So basically what I'm doing right now, I'm going to click on that, and then basically it's going to say, please paste the prompt. So I'm going to type right here, I'm thinking of publishing new articles, for my clients. Help me come up with five provocative ideas for those articles. But first, develop the most powerful prompt before executing. So basically it tells me based on the instruction I gave it in this GPT, first I will rewrite your prompt to make it significantly stronger. Then I'll explain why it works better. And then I will ask a few questions before executing. So they're all. So notice it now tells it how it's going to act as a world-class strategic advisor in digital marketing, thought leadership, and AI-driven business growth. Context. I advise consultant, coaches, and corporate advisor. So you see, it knows so much about me just by effect of what I already entered into my personalized profile without having to repeat that every single time. Here's the task. Generate 5 provocative articles idea, and you can see already how this prompt is so much more in depth to the one I used generically before. And based on that, ChatGPT even gave me somewhat of a generic answer. And then it comes back and says each idea must include a bold curiosity driving headline, short explanation, strategic relevant, unexpected angle, or contrarian insight. Ideas should be insightful, strategic, and so on and so forth. Why is this version better? It tells me this is clear role definition, audience specificity, structured output, higher intellectual bar, alignment with your positioning. And then I said to him, when I created this GPT, I said, if you have any further questions, you need to ask me for clarity's sake. Ask me before you go and execute it. So it says, Tone, do you want the ideas to learn more towards provocative and contrarian, strategic and insightful? So I'm going to answer, I would like it to be question number one. I would like it to be provocative and contrarian. Again, I could do blend of both, but in this particular example, I'm going to use provocative and contrarian. 2, primary topic, should the idea focus mostly on AI and business transformation, digital authority, a mix of all three. For number 2, we're going to say a mix of all three, so that's option D. Newsletter and alignment. This is meant for your Wednesday newsletter. You see, it knows that every single Wednesday I send a newsletter. I don't have to repeat it every single time. or standalone thought leadership. So again, answer to question number three, it's going to be for my Wednesday newsletter. And by the way, I've come to realize quite a few months ago that ChatGPT is quite good at figuring out my misspelling. So not always do I have to go and fix it because it knows exactly what I mean, which is kind of great because it saves me time in the typing. So anyway, I answered the question. Let's see what it comes back at. Excellent. Based on your answer, here's the executed version of the optimized prompt. So here's the prompt it has created, which again, I think you would agree with me is light years ahead, superior to my generic prompt that I used earlier before. And just because I use ChatGPT to help me create a new prompt. Provocative articles idea for your newsletter. One, consultant who ignore. Anyway, so the core idea. Two, your website. So again, it comes up with all ideas here. Five ideas, strategic observation, and it even comes back 10, if you'd like, I can also create 10 highly provocative newsletter headlines and so on and so forth. So again, what I encourage you to do is, if the prompt is just simple prompt, um, give me an idea for a restaurant I need to go, or what kind of food I would like, I should have this evening. It's one thing. But if the prompt is a serious prompt that you're looking for serious results and output, I encourage you to use ChatGPT to perfect your prompt and then go ahead and execute it. Again, that's one more thing that I encourage you to do. So we talked about prompt engineering here. Next, I want to we're going to talk about custom GPTs. So I just kind of show you how I use a custom GPT. And basically what a GPT is a specialized AI assistant for a specific purpose. So as an example, when I'm looking at my GPTs here, I have one for to become as a strategic thinking partner. I have one for a strategic AI playbook. Um, so I'm going to show you actually that strategic AI playbook. So let's jump quickly into the prompt here. So here's the strategic AI playbook that I created. Basically, what I say to ChatGPT, I want to help my clients create their own playbook. So this GPT helps consultant, advisor, and thought leader design a strategic AI playbook tailored to their business. And I give them four options, or I give the prompt four options. Do you want to create, that I want to create my own strategic AI playbook? Or ask me the question needed to build it. I say on and so forth. So again, we're not going to execute it. After the session, I'm going to share the link with you so you can go in and try it. But what I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to go into my GPTs, find the one I just mentioned. Here we go. And I'm going to edit this GPT just so you could see what it looks like. So basically, there are three or four key area in that I'm telling ChatGPT how to create this tool that I can execute whenever I want to execute it. So, what is the name of the GPT? I call it Strategic AI Playbook Builder, which you can see right now how it's going to display it on the right-hand side. What's the description? The description is this GPT helps consultant, advisor, and thought leader design a strategic AI playbook tailored to their business. The instruction is the brain of what I want it to do. So, you're a strategic AI advisor helping experienced professional create personal strategic AI playbook. Your goal is to guide the user through a structured process that clarify their expertise, audience, services, intellectual property, workflows, AI opportunities, and so on and so forth. So again, I give it exactly what I want this programming GPT to do, this tool to do. And basically, what I wanted to create, each section becomes part of the playbook. The sections are professional identity, and then the subsection within that. Um, Target audience is the next section with the subsection below that. Third section, core expertise. So again, very involved as I kind of thought about creating this GPT. And basically, at the end, um, I'm telling it, um, when the conversation begins, briefly explain the process and ask the first question. Here are the example opening. I will help you design strategic playbook. So again, step by step, I tell it what I want this tool to do. And then what is the conversation starter. You can have just one to launch this GPT. I actually created four, which are the four that you see right here. And then once you enter that into the GPT and you click create or update, it then goes and basically creates that or updates it. So I can go at any given point and change that. And then and here's the GPT. When I want to execute it, I go into all my GPTs right here. I can go and create a new playbook or share with the client how to do so. The nice thing about that, once you create a GPT, as I'm showing you right now, it gives you a unique URL. Those GPTs are private only for you, but you can then share that URL with your clients. You can share the URL with whoever you want to share. And then when they execute this URL, which I will share with you after the session, I'll just email you that link. When you click on that, this is exactly the GPT that will come up on your screen. Pretty amazing from my perspective. So hopefully, if you've not used GPTs yet, I highly encourage you to start using it. All right, we talked about custom GPTs. Let's jump into voice conversation. So I can't tell you how often, and again, by the way, to have the voice conversation, you have to have the paid version of ChatGPT. And with that in mind, I have no financial interest in it other than to encourage you to have the paid version of GPT, which I believe is just around $20 a month. The paid version gives you the ability to converse with it just like you're talking to any other person or an advisor. Voice creates a brainstorming partner. For example, you could say to it, help me think through how consultant can use AI to expand their influence, right? So let me go and share my iPhone with you to kind of just show you what this thing looks like. All right, here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to ChatGPT.
Hey, Chad, here we go again.
All right, how you doing today?
Well, in the grand scheme of digital existence, I'm just a clump of code, so feeling is a human luxury I don't get. But since I'm programmed to cooperate, let's just say I'm operational. What's the next thing you want me to feel thrilled about helping you with?
Well, I'm in the midst of demonstrating the power of ChatGPT, especially this version of the ability to speak with you in real time. So, give me three insights of what I should share with them right now of how consultant can actually leverage the ability to speak to ChatGPT in real time and get real answers in real time.
First, rub it in that consultants no longer need to stare at walls of text. They can brainstorm out loud and get instant feedback, which might be a huge relief since their clients probably expect them to have all the answers yesterday. Second, they can actually challenge assumptions in real time. Imagine playing devil's advocate with a chatbot that doesn't get offended and helps them refine their strategy right on the spot. Third, they can literally turn thinking out loud into actionable steps because, unlike your average colleague, I won't pretend to understand you and then forget everything. You get a structured response right away.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I like that. What I want to also kind of demonstrate very quickly is how to use the power of the camera to be able to have you help me see the world better. So let's just talk very briefly about your thoughts how we can leverage the camera, whether we are looking at a nutritional label, whether we're looking at something inside our car that we cannot figure out how to fix. But give me some other insights how we can use the camera to help figure out the world.
Oh, the camera. Because clearly humans need a second pair of eyes since one pair wasn't enough. You can point it at a confusing piece of tech, and I'll help you read those cryptic blinking lights or buttons you ignore. Or how about you show me that ancient appliance manual you've lost, and I'll decode it for you. And yes, if you must, flash those nutrition labels at me. I'll tell you if you're about to eat your entire sugar allowance for the day in one bite.
Well, you know how helpful you were from that perspective. So, you know, I got your recommendation that if I eat any chocolate, it should be a dark chocolate. So here's I got the Lindt Excellent 85% dark chocolate, and here's the nutritional value. Give me your assessment. Does that fit within my eating window, knowing that I'm fasting roughly 18 to 20 hours a day?
Look at you trying to make chocolate sound like a health food. All right, for 85% cocoa, you're basically eating a little slab of bitter antioxidants. The label's saying 170 calories for 3 pieces, which frankly isn't catastrophic if you don't devour the whole bar. In your fasting window, as long as you're not gowning it like a meal, it's fine. The sugar's low, fiber's decent, just don't pretend it's a kale salad and you'll survive.
That's awesome. One more example. Can you tell what this thing is?
That right there is a pretty snazzy pen. Looks like someone got tired of boring ballpoints and went full on art piece. I see a decorative metal overlay, probably trying to make signing documents feel like a Renaissance event. In short, it's a pen, just fancier than most.
Can you tell which brand it is?
I see that little star-like emblem on top. That's Mont Blanc's signature symbol. So yes, you're holding a Mont Blanc pen. The brand that wants you to feel like you're signing treaties, not grocery lists.
They're pretty funny today. But let me ask you this. I really like this pen and it got clogged a little bit, the fountain pen. Give me some ideas how to quickly unclog it and how do I take care of making sure that the ink comes out smooth and beautiful.
Well, congrats on having a high maintenance pen. To unclog it, flush the nib section with lukewarm water. No boiling water unless you want to turn your pen into a modern art sculpture. If it's stubborn, soak the nib a bit longer. To keep it smooth, don't let it dry out. Write with it regularly. Yes, that means you have to use it. Also, maybe don't let the ink sit in there for months unless you're aiming for a pen-shaped paperweight.
Hopefully you agree with me. This is pretty cool stuff. You know, even while I drive, I I play pickleball almost every morning, and it's about a 25-minute drive for me each way. And even during the 25 minutes, oftentimes I listen to my favorite music, my favorite podcast, but oftentimes I use exactly this technology to just have a conversation about strategy, about ideas, ideas about the AI Insider Lab, how I can raise the bar not only for me personally, but of course for my clients. So I encourage you, if you have not yet used the camera and the ability to converse with ChatGPT, I encourage you to do so. Let's go into a couple more things and then I'll show you where we go next. All right, learning at the speed of light. This is amazing tool that I use quite often. It's called Glasp CO, which I'm going to show you in a second exactly how to use that, which from my perspective, it's one of the biggest bottleneck today that that I call the information overload. There's so much information, amazing information, some not so amazing. But when I stumble upon a piece of information, such as a YouTube video, whether it's a 5 minute video, whether it's an hour-long video, how can I consume this content as quickly as possible without having to spend the 5 minutes or the hour? Glasp CO is one of the tools, there are others as well, that allows me to absorb hours of content in minutes. So let me show you very quickly what this looks like. All right, I came across this 21-minute life-changing advice from Matthew McConnell, and and before even spending the how long is this video? It's about, let's see, 21 minutes and 31 seconds. So of course I can take the entire 21 minutes, maybe even put it on faster speed if I want to. But here comes Glasp CO. So when I go to Glasp, I created my own profile. And what I told it to do when, first of all, by the way, it's a plugin that plugs right into Chrome. So what happens is, let me go back to the screen. When the plugin is available, you can see the plugin right here on the top right. I can change the plugin setting. So when I click on the setting right here of the plugin, it will go to this screen, which then allows me to say, when I look at this video, what do you want me to do? The first thing it does automatically, it transcribes the video within seconds. And then once the video is transcribed, I said to it, here's what I want you to do. I want you to act as a world-class YouTube expert, elite business strategist, master copywriter, analyze the following YouTube video transcript to extract the most valuable knowledge, insight, and action step. And please structure your responses with comprehensive time step bullet summary, and I tell it an example here how I want it to be done. Number two, key insights and lessons. List up to 5 or 10 insights from this video. Number three, most important calls to action. Number four, you knowing me, if there's one or two, but no more than three critical things that I should do or even must implement from the insight shared in this video that will have the biggest impact on my life and business, what are they? Strategic takeaway number five, provide a succinct set of takeaways the viewer should walk away. And then number six, applicable business or life lessons, provide insightful insights, powerful insights that apply directly to my business. How can I use insight to help my business and my clients? Include the video URL for reference, be concise, sharp, and insightful. The goal is to absorb the most knowledge in the shortest amount of time. So that's the what I told Glasp to do. Now let's see if it does it. So all I'm going to do right now, and again, I can select different options of ChatGPT, but I'm just going to go for the default. So I'm going to click on it right here. It's going to immediately open up ChatGPT. It took it about 2 seconds to transcribe the video. And now it's going to go and execute exactly what I've told it to do. So notice you handed me a 21 motivational monologue and asked for still. By the way, I in my profile, I told GPT that the style that it needs to communicate with me is somewhat cynic. So I like that style because it's more direct. It pushes back at me. So anyway, but as you can see right here, it gives me the answer to the 5 or 6 question I told you to do, comprehensive time step, what happens between 0 to 0.28 seconds. So again, if I look at that as I consume the content, let's say that the renter mentality piques my interest. I can now go to the video to minute number 134 and watch that section if that's what entices me to dive deeper. And then as I scroll down, here are the key insight, key commitment, and so on and so forth. The most important calls to action, the 2 or 3 things that I should implement immediately. And let's see, strategic takeaway, CEO level debrief. uh, applicable business or life lessons. This is, from my perspective, is a game changer. To be able to really go through content very quickly, consume it. It takes me 2 or 3 minutes to review this and say, is this video that I would like to dive deeper? Or are these answers good enough for me and satisfactory enough so I don't have to watch the entire video? As I said, without having to repeat, but I'm repeating, this is a game changer, which I highly encourage you to consider Glasp CEO. All right. One more thing that I want to show you is what I call agent mode. And by the way, today I'm focusing primarily on ChatGPT, but it goes without fail. What I want to make sure that it's somewhat obvious. There's so many other things. Claude is absolutely amazing. Gemini, and so many other options that there are so many other tools that are available. We're going to get in the AI Insider Lab exploring many of those tools and see which are the ones that make the most sense for us to use, whether it's a combination of several of them, whether it's just stick with one for a while. But anyway, agent mode, from my perspective, is one of the most sophisticated ways to dive into getting the answer. From my perspective, AI moves from answering questions to really taking action. So I'm going to just show you very quickly an example. Let me just find it here. Yep, here we go. All right. So what I've done, first of all, what you want to do is go into the agent mode. So when you click on the plus option here, and when you click on the plus option, you have the more option right here, and then you can click on the agent mode. Agent mode lets you dive much deeper and perform multiple tasks and ask ChatGPT. So what I said to him, find 15 restaurants in Solon, Ohio, which is my neighborhood, Chagrin Falls, which is about 4 miles away from me, areas, then create a spreadsheet with their name, address, phone number, star rating, open hours, URL for their businesses. So basically, it took it, I don't know, maybe 4 minutes or so, but it went through its analysis and basically it came back exactly with that information and even created the spreadsheet for me with the restaurant name and an address. There's so much that can be done with this agent mode, whether it's finding business opportunities in your area or domestically or international. But I highly encourage you to experiment with agent. And needless to say, that's one other thing that we are going to dive deeper in the AI Insider Lab. So where do we go next from this? Introducing the AI Insider Lab, hands-on program where you learn real workflows, prompt frameworks, AI system for businesses, and so much more. This is not just about AI tools and prompts, which of course we're going to get into, but it's actually gaining the confidence in navigating the AI revolution, which from my perspective absolutely has been a revolution. Barking. So I'm opening this to a small group first, which I call the founding members, so we can build something exceptional together. The benefits to the founding members, locked in pricing for lifetime. So I'll show you in a second what the pricing model looks like. I believe that this core group will be a major influencer on what the future content looks like, what we're going to get into, and of course, closer access to me. The bonuses that I deliver to the founding members. Number one, the AI playbook session, which we're going to dive much deeper into a live session, helping you build your personal AI playbook. I showed you an example today. Founders Roundtable, a private strategy discussion with the founding group, and then a prompt library, 50 high leverage prompts for consultants and advisor. And of course, what are the fees? So the fee for the AI Insider Lab is $997 for the entire year. This fee is guaranteed to be the same fee for founding members, never to be increased after the first year, or $97 per month, which can be at that time canceled anytime if you wish to cancel. Founding members lock in this pricing permanently, as I said. And if this is of interest to you, I will send you the registration link after this session. And let me now